Blockchain was all about Silk Road, dark web, and I wanted to, as a government person, I wanted to bring it out of that and legitimize the technology. In addition to standardization, a fundamental flaw of blockchain is lack of interoperability, and the current trend of creating closed proprietary networks. We've made those technological mistakes before, which have resulted in monopolies and limitations to people and limitations in innovation. It was only when we had openness and choice, and that resulted in prosperity and innovation. Overledger was actually sparked when I was working as the Chief Information Security Officer at the Department of Health while I was working in Australia at the time. It was here that I saw firsthand the direct advancing of patient care through interoperability.
Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. And with that being said, what are we talking about? We're talking about Quant Network in this one. And yes, the United States of America, you guys. But before we get too deep, I want to thank all of you for liking, for commenting, for subscribing. Y'all rock. My community, you guys are awesome. Okay, you guys? But we hopping into this thing with Quant Network and the United States of America. We already know about Quant Network in the UK, the Bank of England, the digital pound. We already know about Quant Network, the EU, the ECB, the digital euro. You guys understand that right now America has a stable coin that will eventually proliferate into a CBDC, a digital dollar, okay? But before we go into that, we are going to tackle something called NIST. Now, NIST stands for the National Institute of Standards and Technology, okay? This is literally, you guys, the plug directly into ISO TC 307, the global standard for building on blockchain, with their liaison, ISO 22739, coming out of NIST. Follow me, okay, you guys? I'm always going somewhere, and all roads globally lead to Quant Network and Overledger. They're interoperable software as a service, okay? But in this first video, we're getting ready to tackle literally not just the United States of America, but also Canada, and tie both of them into, I'm talking the governments, directly into Quant Network and the global standard for building on blockchain. And I will be right back.
csrc.nist.gov. It's an official document in regards to NIST and the United States FIPS for what? 140-2 cryptographic module validation. You have the United States, and you also have the Communication Security Establishment of the Government of Canada. But more importantly, I want you guys to understand some key things here. In accordance with the derived test requirements of FIPS 140-2, security requirements for cryptographic modules, FIPS 140-2 specifies the security requirements that are to be satisfied by a cryptographic module utilized within a security system protecting sensitive information, for example, United States, or designated information for Canada, with computer and telecommunication systems, including voice systems. The certificate includes the details of the scope of conformance and validation authority signatures on the reserve. Official documents, right, that recognize all of this. And this is the highest level of security. And more importantly, do we have a signature or a couple signatures of a sign-off? We do. And what do we have? You have signed on behalf of government of the United States, this particular person, Chief Computer Security Division, National Institute of Standards and Technology, and you have the other person from the government of Canada in regards to Communication Security Establishment. Now, here's a visual. Katya Delok. She's part of the federal government. Look at this for a second. This gets really interesting as she has responsibilities at the NIST offices, serving both as the Office of Weights and Measures of the Physical Measurement Laboratory and Computer Security Division of NIST Information Technology Laboratory. But again, does it say anything in regards to the reference to Quant? And there is your first boil it, match it, stick in the stew moment, because in the Computer Security Division, she coordinates the work of researchers focusing on what everybody, blockchain, distributed ledger technology, providing the the whole context for this research and how it can inform policy. She provides support for ISO activities in TC 307. She's the one? Boom. Check this out. Because guess what? Computer Security Division, CSD, and Applied Cybersecurity Division, called ACD, has this whole thing of what? The participants, or what they participate in, I should say, they held a leadership in ISO TC 307, boom, Quant Network standard, everybody, on blockchain, distributed ledger technologies, and its United States Mirror Committee. So what you saw, back to what I shared earlier, of those two people signing off on it, they hold leadership positions in ISO TC 307 and blockchain distributed ledger technologies and its United States Mirror Committee. My goodness, that is a huge, huge deal. But is there more?
As you can see, just a quick recap from the video from yesterday. This is ISO TC 307, the global standard for building on blockchain. And this is the map that shows you all of the participating countries. Okay, you guys? Now, you guys just saw that. Understand, you guys, countries do not play checkers. They play chess on the most strategic grandmaster levels you can possibly think of. So when they were cementing things in 2016 with things like that remit document that I brought you a couple videos ago, and being one of the first liaisons and one of the first members of ISO TC 307, the United States is right there and has been there since day one, working right alongside of Quant Network, building out this future of Web3. Okay, you guys? NIST and a few other global players literally being tied right back to Quant Network. Come on, boy, Maximus Crypto. He's going over a tweet from Tokenizer, and I will be right back.
Tokenizer is so right. Entities back in QNT with ISO TC 307 are in fact no joke. SWIFT, the European Union Commission, NIST, who, by the way, I've shared this before in some deep dives. NIST has been around, I think, since the 80s, 90s at least, and they are also a part of the Quant Network standard of ISO TC 307 according to the documentation. Again, I've done some deep dives on it. You have also the U.S. OFR Treasury from SWIFT and European Union directly contributing as a Class A liaison to United States NIST, participating, again, TC 307, just like I mentioned, and the U.S. Mirror Committees, to the U.S. Office of Financial Research representing the United States for the ISO TC 307 and ISO TC 68 Liaison Committee. Stop listening to these people that jump into the comments to say that Quant has no role in the United States. They have not done their research. And I say that politely, but it's a reality. Reminder that TC68 is the ISO standard for financial services. Also overseeing the whole thing were the creators of the commonly mentioned ISO 222 for financial data messaging. We are seeing DLT intersect with the future of finance and governments in real time. And there's many more backers to come with that. But let's blow this up. And basically everything that he just mentioned is valid. And who is part of the source? Well, believe it or not, as you see in the top left of this pamphlet, comes specifically from who? Comes from SWIFT in that information paper on business standards and emerging technologies. Again, think about how big that is. That is massive, is it not? See here, SWIFT standards team also contributes to foundational work, defining common terminology and reference architecture for DLT. Again, under ISO TC 307, again, SWIFT Labs research. You see how this all comes together. Information technology, NIST, again, part of TC 307. How many more examples do we need? And again, the ECB shaping Europe's digital future. That's also crucial, okay?
Now, you guys just saw that, and you guys just heard every single thing that Tokenizer put inside of that tweet. Literally, you guys, the infrastructure, the ecosystem, the customer base of Quant Network and its interoperable technology, y'all, it's insane. And this is something that has been methodically worked on in the background for years. And now we're starting to see all of the fruits of that labor. Y'all, this is incredible. And to know that we now have institutions publicly naming Quant, you guys, it's not just, people saying this or using keywords or using key phrases. No, publicly naming them. We're going to hop into this next video. Come from our boy, Maximus Crypto. And it's just like a little montage of multiple major institutions that have already publicly named Quant Network. This isn't all of them. This is just a few. Let's hop into this and I will be right back.
that in this PDF from ecb.europa.eu, 2025 as in this year, from Digital Euro Innovation Partners, do we have Quant Network literally listed in the PDF? Boom, we do. Quant Network Europe Limited, right? And that is important to basically recognize that. Again, for the Quant Network, Quant selected as the pioneer partner in the European Central Bank's Digital Euro project, according to Gilbert Verdian, posted this earlier this year, 2025. We'll go into it a little bit more further. People are still asking some of these questions about the whole thing of Quant Network specifically with the BIS. Been there, done that, building API prototypes for retail CBC ecosystem innovation with Bank of England and the Bank for International Settlements Innovation Hub. Do you see Quant Network listed? The answer is basically yes. And it's right here, actually, because it's in Appendix 3 of the Bank for International Settlements Innovation Hub, Project Rosalind, building API prototypes in that PDF from bis.org/PUBL PDF, page 35-36 of this PDF, who is listed as a participant, collaborator, and who's acknowledged. In the vendor team, you see plain as day, UST and Quant. Okay? That is very, very crucial to basically recognize that as well. Another thing I want to point out, again, established and pounded in home more, Quant collaborates with Bank for International Settlement and Bank of England on Project Rosalind. We've been there and done that since 2023, but it's not going away. And on top of that, we take over to UK finance. Well, again, is this all adding up? Yes, tokenized sterling deposits. How so? Well, payments and innovation, delivering tokenized sterling deposits. And what we see here, basically speaking, is that participating firms currently are Barclays, HSBC, Lloyds Banking Group, NatWest, just like Gilbert pointed out, Nationwide, Santander, who is also partnered with Ripple, with support from Quant. Okay, I'm with you, Maximus. I hope so. So take you more into this. Again, the paper trail. Quant Network, September 26, 2025, Quant was in fact selected to deliver infrastructure for UK's tokenized sterling deposits project.
Now, y'all just saw that. Now, this is no dig on any other process or project in Web3, but name me another project that literally have the ties to the largest governments, central banks in the world. Name me one. Name me one. Don't say Ripple. Name me one project. You can't, y'all. Nobody touches Quant Network in this space. They are the king of Web3. And it's not them being a king in an abrupt or arrogant way, but they're the king because they had the foresight to let's build the foundation so that all the blockchains can thrive, not just one singular blockchain. They're the king because they had the foresight to be a leader enough in the space to say, let's lay out and map out this ecosystem of Web3 so that every innovative blockchain technology out there, your Ripple, your Hedera, your XRP, your XLM, your DAG, all these incredible products and projects can thrive and be a reality globally. Okay, you guys? But I got one more video coming for you guys. I throw these in here from time to time because I like to just give people just a little bit of hope, because I know sometimes holding QNT is a struggle because it don't move the way some of us feel that it should move based off of the supply and based off of all the amazement announcements. But understand, you're holding infrastructure, and that infrastructure will hold up the entire globe as far as the distributed ledger technology sector is concerned. Okay, you guys, I'm cut back to this video and I will be right back.
Moments where the quiet investors, the patient ones, the ones who see beyond the noise, are preparing for something much bigger than the market currently realizes. When you really break down what makes QNT different, what makes it feel like this quiet giant that nobody sees coming, it all comes back to one thing. The world is changing faster than most people understand. And the changes happening behind the scenes in governments, in banking infrastructure, in enterprise systems, are setting up a future where interoperability isn't just useful, it's mandatory. And QNT isn't guessing that future. QNT is already building inside it. Let's be brutally honest. Most cryptos exist in their own bubble, their own chain, their own isolated ecosystem where everything works beautifully, until you try to connect it to the real world. It's like building a mansion on an island with no bridges. Looks amazing, but no one can reach it. No enterprises can plug into it. No governments can integrate it. No legacy systems can adopt it. Most crypto projects don't fail because they're bad. They fail because they're disconnected. QNT saw that problem from day one, and instead of building another island, they started building the bridges. This is why when people say, but QNT doesn't have the hype, or why isn't QNT trending? They're missing the entire point. Infrastructure isn't loud. Bridges don't trend. The backbone of an economy isn't built for clout. It's built for stability. It's built for permanence. It's built so that everyone else can build on top of it. That's what Overledger is, a digital superbridge. Something that doesn't care what blockchain you use, what network you prefer, what standard your government picks, or what system your bank relies on. Connects everything. Legacy systems, private blockchains, public chains, central bank networks, enterprise APIs, all of it. Seamlessly, silently, without forcing anyone to change what they already use. And that right there is the genius. QNT doesn't force the world to adopt blockchain. It adapts blockchain to the world. But here's where things get even deeper, and even more important for anyone holding just one QNT. Look at what's happening globally. Tokenization of assets is accelerating faster than people realize. We're talking real estate, bonds, money market funds, securities, identity systems, supply chains, invoices, national currencies. Everything is moving onto networks. JP Morgan is tokenizing. The Bank of England is tokenizing. The EU is rolling out digital identity frameworks. The U.S. has pilots running behind the scenes. The UAE, Singapore, and Japan are already doing cross-border digital settlement trials. The BIS openly admitted that tokenized systems will run the future financial infrastructure. And do you know what all of these systems have in common? They're not going to use just one blockchain. Some will use Hyperledger. Some will use private Ethereum frameworks. Some will use public chains like XLM, XRP, and hbar. Some will remain on permission networks built decades ago. The world is not unifying into one chain, it's fragmenting into many. And when you have a fractured digital landscape, something has to tie it all together. Something has to connect those systems. Something has to let banks talk to blockchains and blockchains talk to governments and governments talk to global settlement networks. That something is interoperability. And interoperability is exactly what gives QNT its quiet, unfakeable power.
Now, you guys just saw that. If you're still rocking with me, I thank y'all for still being a part and riding with y'all boy, even, to this point of the video. Y'all listen, Quant Network, I don't know. This is the reason why I'm doing these videos, because I want the world to hear this, because it truly is incredible news, but it falls on mostly deaf ears. And if you are one of one and you are listening to me, because out of 8 billion people on the planet, it's just a few people who know what Quant Network is and even know what Overledger is, or even know what a QNT is, you guys. And for y'all to be tuning in right now in 2025, you guys sit in a position that so many people in the world will one day envy. You'll be known as whole coiners, I'm telling you, because the infrastructure that this company has laid and the utilization and use cases that they have built out on top of their interoperable blockchain platform.
Overledger platform from Quant establishes a new benchmark for blockchain interoperability and ease of use. As a low-code enterprise-grade platform, Overledger empowers you to deploy, connect, and develop on any blockchain quickly and simply. With Overledger, you can generate an interoperable digital asset with just a few clicks, create secure smart contracts that can execute on any blockchain without having to hire a team of experts. And you can use its advanced APIs to integrate with your systems and manage your assets on multiple chains. We believe that the blockchain economy should be simple, trusted, and future-proof. These are our principles and the genesis of Overledger platform, the enterprise standard for building on blockchain.
It will send trillions of dollars of value, and it will probably be quadrillions of transactions, you guys, flowing through Overledger. You guys understand, truly see what Quant Network has built out, and working alongside of literally governments like NIST. Literally government standardizing bodies, the thing that the government sends to the standardizing body to get all the information. And let's say this is how we're going to implement it into our economy, our country, depending on whatever the standard is. And to know that Quant Network has already coupled itself with the standard organizing bodies of 63 countries of what this standard covers. Okay, you guys, stand and truly see, you guys. Look at all of these countries. Now, I'm not going to name all of these by name, but you can see how this list has tremendously grown from that early days of that remit document up into the standard ISO TC 307. Look, that is now adopting and utilizing that global standard, which is Overledger. Quant Network software as a service is incredible. Okay, you guys, it truly is. If you made it all the way through this entire video, type in NIST, because what the National Institute of the Standards Technology has going on with ISO TC 307 via ISO 2739, it's incredible, y'all. It really, truly is, okay? To the next time, y'all already know. I appreciate y'all. Type in NIST. That way I know you made it all the way through this entire video and you rocked out with your boy. I appreciate you for real. Peace out.